This Friday marks the start of the Black Friday sale on Aliexpress. I've already released an 11/11 sale video this month, but with this sale going through the standard pay cycle in the UK, I thought it'd be rude not to round up another 10 watches for you. Again, all of these watches are linked in the description if you wanted to purchase one. Now, I've taken a different approach to this list this time around. I have rounded up 5 brand new watches that you should have a look at. But I've also rounded up another 5 classic Aliexpress watches that you can pick up for an absolute steal in this sale. My name's Jason, I'm your watch guy today. Let's get into it. We're gonna start off with possibly the best value piece that has ever been on Aliexpress. The Steeldive SD1970 is a homage to the legendary Seiko Willard. Now, I thought this watch was a fantastic price at £80 when I first saw them about 4 years ago. But in this sale, you can pick them up for half of that. That's right, you can have one of these for 40 quid. I couldn't find anything better when you actually account for what you're getting in this piece. An automatic Seiko NH35 movement, a sapphire crystal, a ceramic bezel insert, a fantastically shaped stainless steel casing, and they'll even put it on a bracelet for you. These watches look fantastic in person, and that comes from my own experience. I personally think they are well worth around £100, so at 40, this is a no-brainer for me. When you think of it, that's an average Domino's night in. With the choice being this watch or 2 large pepperoni pizzas, I know which way you should go, even if I have just made myself a little bit hungry. This would even be a brilliant buy as the basis of a mod piece because it has the perfect outset, the stainless steel case and the sapphire crystal and NH35 movement. It is just an insane price. Now, this one might be one of the best releases from any Aliexpress brand this year. Seestern offer excellent products, and they've done that from the outset. The looks, the specifications, and the finishing has always been there for them. Their latest release is a homage to the Grand Seiko GMT Diver. It's available in 4 different variants, 2 with mother of pearl dials, and all 4 with sapphire bezel inserts. This one's packed with the NH34 GMT movement, and if you need a reference for their quality of finishing and build, well, I think these play in the same realm as San Martin, in my humble opinion. This one is one of the most expensive on today's list, but it is definitely well worth it, coming in at around £200 in the sale. The bezels are loomed, which is a lovely touch if you ask me. And if you're going to pick one of these up, it'd be an incredible shame if you didn't opt for one of those mother of pearl dials. The way that the light changes the dial through every single situation throughout the day is just another level of premium to me, and it's something that you really need to experience if you haven't before. Back to the classics now with San Martin. If I was asked what the best Submariner homage was, pound for pound, it would have to be the SN0017. Obviously, it all comes down to budget and taste, but when you factor in the quality that San Martin offer and the price of this watch in this sale, it's a no-brainer. You can have this one for less than £105. And if you look through the reviews of this watch, you can see why that is such an incredible deal. San Martin always finish their watches brilliantly. Beyond that, the ceramic bezel insert, the NH movement, the sapphire crystal, and overall build quality, this one would be the perfect scratch to that Submariner itch, especially if you only have 100 quid to spend. In comparison, you could have 2 Casio Joros, a G-Shock, or a Seiko 5. But I don't think that any of those watches compare to this piece, even in the slightest. A brand that I have had a lot of people recommend to me is Watchdives. They offer homages at really reasonable prices, and from what I've seen throughout videos and people's experience with them, they're doing pretty well. They're definitely outdoing the other brands in their price category. You know, I love a good 50 fathoms homage, and that's why I've had to go for their one. The no radio dial depiction, the matte effect finish to the casing, the domed sapphire crystal, it has a lot to offer. Factor in the automatic movement, it's pretty much all I could actually want for around 70 quid. They have a few different styles for you to pick from that includes aged lume, the no radio dial, different dial options, and the white markings. But you know, if I had my pick, which one I'd go for. For me, Watchdives definitely sits above Pagani Design in their quality, definitely below Seestern, Sugess and St. Martin, but that is also reflected in their pricing structure. I think that these are one of the best emerging budget brands at the moment, especially on the Aliexpress market, and they've shown from the outset that they can compete with the others in their price range, like Pagani Design and Cadison. They're also doing something that we always ask for, which is signing their dials with a logo instead of the print, which I definitely think will catch a lot of people. I mentioned this one in my 11/11 video, but with the prices being so low, I really want to hammer this home to anyone that's missed out. A mechanical chronograph movement with all of the specifications that you could want to go along with it. All of that for less than £85. You all know that I love a chronograph watch, and if you're looking for a budget mechanical chronograph, the only movement you can pick out is the ST19. They're becoming much harder to get a hold of, and therefore I don't believe that we'll see many deals like this in the coming years. And that's exactly why I would be jumping on one of these. The brighter colours definitely don't hurt it, with a much more expressionist composition overall throughout the watch. You have an option of a classic leather band or a rubber strap. Now I know that the logical watch collector in your head is going pick up the leather band, but personally, after having one of these on that rubber strap, that would definitely be my choice of the two. As well as the comfort of it, it accents the colours in the watch so much better than that leather piece. I don't mention mysterious code very often in these videos or at all, and that's because I'm not a fan of the name. That being said, if you can get past it, for £35 they could have one of the best options throughout the sale. They use the VK series movement in their chronograph pieces, and that ensures that you have that mechanical aspect of the chronograph, or the feel of it at least, with the time-telling capabilities of a quartz movement. They're available in plenty of different options to fit your style, even if your style is slightly moon swatchish. They've paired these dials with a really classic chronograph casing, and that comes with the stainless steel effect bezel. Personally, if I was going to go for any of these, it'd have to be the white dial. There's just something about that almost Arctic looking chronograph that I really want to get my hands on. Now, one thing that I will mention though is that they have printed sapphire to the dial, which is a really odd move because in their description they have listed this as a mineral crystal. Now, if you can get past that, £35 for any watch is an absolute steal, but one with a VK series movement and a really good look to it, it's a good deal. For me, pound for pound, spec for spec, this watch is the best that Aliexpress offers. And that's because they offer this watch at the price of a cocktail in London. This is the Pagani Design homage to the Rolex Daytona. You've seen it before, but I'll go through it again. It has a sapphire crystal, a ceramic bezel insert, a VK series movement, 100 meters of water resistance, and functioning screw down pushers, as well as a screw down crown. You can pick it up in so many variants that I would not begrudge anyone having a collection of these alone. They've even got a faux meteorite style to it, and I'll be honest, against that gold tone casing, it is a real look. You may begrudge it on the rubber band, but personally I would pick up the rubber band over the stainless steel bracelets, and that's because when I had one in, the fit and the comfort of that band was next to no other in this price range. Now, this was a great watch at £60, and I've recommended it over and over through the years as the price has fallen, and it has fallen again. You can pick this one up now for just over £30. Think of that, £30, and you can have yourself a fantastic looking, spec'd to the nines mecha quartz chronograph. I mean, at that price, pick yourself up a couple, because I don't think there's anything that beats this watch for value. I'm open to suggestions, but this is it. I don't know how many times I have to mention this watch before you guys go out and purchase it, but here it is again. The Addiesdive AD2066 is their latest release, and it is genuinely the prettiest watch that they have ever made. It is backed with a VH31 movement, which provides it with a mecha quartz sweep to that second hand, bringing it up from that basic quartz background and giving it a little bit more of a premium effect. And talking of premium effects, this dial just elevates the watch completely for me, and it certainly makes it look much more expensive than the £40 price tag. I've mentioned before that the only downfall that I can see is the mineral crystal, and honestly, with it being domed and AR coated for better visibility, I can't hold it against them at £40, and I don't think you guys should either. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's better than a Swiss piece or it compares to them, but at this price, it really doesn't have to. And beyond that, it has no right to look this good for £40. If you're going to go pick something new up out of this sale, this is the one that I would pick out for you. This particular watch will make an appearance on some of my sale videos and my roundup videos each year, and that's because I absolutely love it. After owning one, it became my favorite Aliexpress tourbillon. Obviously, the draw to this piece is the complication. That tourbillon movement will look like nothing you have ever had on your wrist before. But the reason that I am such a big fan of this watch is not because of that complication. It is because of the dial that surrounds it. Now, on Aliexpress, you'll often see these tourbillon pieces around the same price or much higher, but they often pack in a very sterile, very simplistic, and I'll say sophisticated dial option. But that's not what Aesop have gone for on this one. They have packed it with a starry night effect dial. They have given it a depiction of the Milky Way, and I think that that dial frames that complication perfectly, and it gives that watch another level. It sets it apart from any of the other tourbillons that you can pick up on Aliexpress. Now, obviously, for the king of complications, you would expect a hefty price tag, and I'll say it's more expensive than the other pieces on the list, but not by much. It comes in at £220 throughout the sale, and honestly, I don't think you can get a better deal on a tourbillon for anywhere near that type of price. This genuinely could be the perfect way to get that type of complication into your collection. Now, to finish off today's list, we're going to have a look at a piece from Sugess that I haven't mentioned before. From the same people that bring us Seestern, this is their moon phase date piece. Now, I'll say moon phase because I suspect that this is more of a date complication with a nice little moon printed over the top of it. But I genuinely don't think that any of us would expect to get a genuine moon phase piece for around £170, would we? But what this depiction does is give us that type of style, that type of sophisticated look to the piece that I think a lot of us would enjoy. That being said, it's not my favorite part of this watch. My favorite part of this watch is the pointer date. Now, we never really see this on the market anymore, and it's one of those complications or those styles of pieces that I absolutely adore. I think it's a really sophisticated way to display the date, and I think that on this piece, it really works well. And unless you're going to look at an Aorus pointer date, it's going to be pretty hard to find something like this. The gold tone casing and the white dial also add to the sophistication of this piece, and it will definitely be one of those that gets a lot of looks on wrist. The S452, this model, is backed by the ST2108 movement. There's a seagull movement. I know how we feel about the Chinese, but I'll say it over and over again, Seagull actually make really, really solid movements for the prices that they put them out at. And it makes budget watchmaking much, much more accessible. Now, £170, it's a little bit more expensive than the pieces that we've discussed today, but that comes with the quality of Sugess pieces. They definitely play more around the San Martin type of range, and we know what type of quality and finishing that is. Thanks for watching today, guys. I appreciate it. This is going to be my last sale video of 2024, and I believe it's the last sale for Aliexpress this year. They've packed some incredible pieces into the market this year, but I would love to know what your favorite has been. For me, it is really hard to look past the San Martin Zhejiang. I think that dial just absolutely blew me away. But if you have a better suggestion for me, head down into the comments and let me know. Remember, if you're interested in any of the watches that I've shown you today, head into the description, click the link beside the name, add it into your basket, and then wait for the sale to begin. That is midnight on Friday, and that marks the time for you to go to checkout. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.